Okay, everybody, what is going on? Good morning. We are 24 hours away from the fireworks. That's right. Things are going to be happening very soon here. If you want to be more literal, things have already started to happen over the last couple of days here. We've seen some guys get taken off the market before they could even hit the market. Khalil Mack, Connor McGovern, couple other guys as well. And we're also seeing some guys get released that we maybe weren't expecting. So one door closes, a window opens. So stuff is happening, but things really launch off tomorrow. And I want to talk a little bit about what's going to be happening on this channel over the next week. So today is March 8th and tomorrow is March 9th. And as you can see, if you look at the NFL.com operations page, March 9th, during the period beginning at 12 noon ET, so that's 9 a.m. our time on March 9th, and ending at basically 4 p.m. ET, so that's 1 p.m. our time on March 11th, clubs are permitted to contact and enter into contract negotiations with the certified agents of players who will become unrestricted free agents upon the expiration of their 2025 player contracts at 4 p.m. ET, 1 p.m. our time on March 12th. So basically, technically, yes, free agency does not start tomorrow. But for all intents and purposes, as far as we're concerned, it does start tomorrow. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. is the time when teams and players are going to start communicating with each other on contracts for the 2026 season. Technically, these contracts cannot be finalized until some days later, as this document indicates. However, you can come to an agreement. And in my time following this process closely, I don't believe I've ever seen a player agree to a contract during legal tampering and then back out of it by the time actual free agency starts. So, as of right now, as to the best of my knowledge, you can treat those free agency agreements as ironclad. Maybe they're not. Maybe one day we will see somebody back out, but there is every reason to believe that contracts agreed to tomorrow are essentially official. So, the only question is, how do we follow along? And if you've been on my channel for more than a year, you guys know how I like to do it, and we'll be doing it again this year. So, tomorrow at 9 a.m., I will be going live on YouTube, and the plan will be to stay live for 8 hours until 5 p.m. And the goal is to basically follow along with free agency the best that I can. And that means I'm going to be glued to the news feeds. That means I'm going to be paying attention to all the big story droppers, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, that crew. Aaron Wilson does some good stuff from time to time when it comes to like contract details. A few other things as well. A few other people out there that are good at this stuff. You guys know the drill. And basically, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be sitting there on stream for about 8 hours. There are going to be breaks, of course. Let's be real here. But I'm going to be sitting there on stream, and I'm going to be trying to keep people in the stream up to date on the latest and greatest. There's going to be information on screen about recent signings. There's going to be information, and I'm going to try to have as much of this stuff on screen as possible concerning who's still left as a free agent, who can still be signed. Of course, there will be a special focus on who the Seahawks sign or let go or however you want to put it. But the goal will basically be to track things as closely as possible as we move through this early phase of the offseason. And we've done it before. It's great. We've gotten over 1,000 people in those streams multiple times over the last couple years. We get hundreds and hundreds of people in the comment section, or excuse me, the chat, I should say. And it's always great. So awesome stuff. Can't wait to do it again. We will be following along with every move across the NFL. Every move across the NFL will at least mention. Obviously, some of it won't be very important to us, but a lot of it will be. Very little stuff that happens in the NFL is of no interest to an NFL fan after all. So, going live at 9, going off at 5. Now, stuff doesn't stop at 5. Sometimes stuff happens after 5, but so be it. Sometimes the Seahawks don't do anything until after 5, which, it can get a little bit annoying, admittedly, but it is what it is. And I'm going to do the best I can and be on as long as I can to try to follow along with this stuff. So that's that's just an unfortunate reality of being a West Coast team sometimes. Sometimes your team makes their moves late. Now, that's Monday. Tuesday, which is also another day of legal tampering, I'll be doing the same thing. But, and I've never done this before, it'll be a joint stream with Brandon of the Hawk's Nest. We're going to be going live on both of our channels. I'm going to be live on mine. He's going to be live on his. And the idea is we're going to both be there on stream, tracking the moves across the NFL. And of course, with a special focus on the Seahawks. And never done that before. The goal is going to be on stream for 8 hours. I don't know if we're going to get there or not, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely check that one out. Definitely hoping that one goes well. The goal will just be to basically not break news, but have news up on screen as soon as we hear about it, talk about everything that happens, try to process the way the offseason is going so far, and basically there have been people over the years that have asked me and Brandon to do stuff together that we usually do separately, like draft coverage. So this is going to be kind of like an experiment to see if it goes well, if people like it. And yeah, hopefully it goes well. And then we're going to go back solo on Wednesday, which is also going to be more legal tampering for part of the day. But we're going to still go 9 to 5. And then Thursday and Friday, we're also going to do more free agency. Turn stream on at 9, turn it off at 5. So that's 40 hours of streaming. Of course, there are going to be breaks, but I'm going to be live for about 40 hours this week. So that's going to be occupying all my time. And hopefully the Seahawks do some stuff. Hopefully the Seahawks do stuff that compels people. But at the very least, let's get some NFL-wide action. Let's get some fun stuff happening, excuse me, across the league. So it's going to be an intense week, but I've done it before. I'm excited to do it again. And what I'm going to say is try to tune in, try to hang out. I freely admit that those streams, they can get a little bit varied in the topics that get discussed because it's hard to talk about football for 8 straight hours, even during free agency. So we talk about a lot of other fun stuff. We get into a lot of other cool, interesting topics of conversation. I'm sure we're going to talk about the Mariners. We're probably going to talk about like movies and video games as the day goes on, as the days go on, actually, I should say. It's going to eventually start swinging into kind of atypical topics. So one thing that I will say is, I'm not a YouTuber that depends heavily on donations. This is one of the 2 times during the year where I hope to actually get some pretty good donations going, because it is one of 2 times during the year where I really go all out on the streaming. So that's one thing that I would ask for. If there's any way that you guys are able to support me, and even if it's just a thumbs up, I totally get it, but I'm hoping to get some donations on those streams as well. So that is one thing that I would say, because normally streams are just kind of a very small part of what I do here, but for this week and of course the 3 days of the draft, it's all about streaming. So there will be no draft evaluations during this week because all my energy will be on free agency. I'll be cutting videos from the stream throughout the day. And yeah, that's going to be the way it goes. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think. I'm excited. You guys seem excited. We got money to spend. We got the justification to spend it. So go Hawks.